Apologies if you can hear latte drinking water in the background. A hydrated queen. Drink water. Love yourself. That's your reminder. Hey, my name is May, like the month, and today I'm going to be answering some of your yoga questions while doing my favorite yoga poses. Just a disclaimer, I am not a teacher at all, so take what I'm doing with a grain of salt. These poses are just what makes me, I don't know, feel limber and light and stretchy, and they're just my favorites. Oh, I'm feeling a little stiff today. It's currently the time of the month for me, and I just got my back tattooed. So, I definitely need this now more than ever. Let's get started. Child's pose. Beginner, baby. So easy, but so effective. So you want to keep your knees wide, probably around like the width of your mat, and then you want to sit your hips down just a little bit to get that stretch. If you want to get more of a shoulder stretch, you can put your hands out a little further and then sit your hips down. Oh, so nice. One of my most frequently asked questions is how long I've been doing yoga for. And I've been doing yoga immediately after I got sober. If you want to get more of a side stretch, you can move your hands towards the left hand side. Make sure your right hand fingers are a little bit forward. So your hands are kind of like this. And then you can pull backwards. Ooh, yeah, that feels lovely. I spent so much time and energy into alcohol where I knew that if I made the decision to go sober, I would need to fill. Do you want to do this with me? Yeah? Want a bit stretchy? Yeah, you do. Okay. Yeah. You can do this. Perfect form. And then you can switch your hands to the other side. Sorry, what was I saying? I knew that I needed to fill my time with something that is productive, so I decided, okay, what better thing to do than to better my well-being and work out. Might as well just go into my second pose. Right? You want to do it with me? This one you can keep your legs hip width apart. It's Camel Pose. When I started yoga, I was incredibly unfit. I couldn't touch my toes. I was very not flexible. I knew yoga had various levels of, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or expert. Everyone starts from somewhere, and I knew that being the shape that I was in before, it can be a natural transition for me. So that's why I started, and it's been one of my passions ever since. I've been I'm almost a year sober, so I've been doing yoga for almost a year. Another one of my favorite things is cat and cow. So it's when you like arch your back up like this. When you breathe in, you drop your spine. And just like that. Another question that I've gotten was tips for beginners, and I can honestly say, oh my goodness, latte. I can honestly say I started from YouTube. If you type in yoga for beginners, I think the first person that comes up is Yoga by Adriene. She's honestly a peach. She does this 30-day challenge, which I started out with because I said, okay, if I can do all 30 days, and if I love it at the end, if I can stay committed, then I can go out to other studios around Toronto, and that's what I did. I completed the challenge, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I picked a random studio, which turned out to be a hot yoga studio. Make sure you drink water. I almost passed out the first class I went to. And that's how I met Deanna. I will plug her Instagram right here. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I take her classes basically every single morning. She is amazing. She has essentially made me the person who I am now in terms of yoga, and I cannot thank her enough. Another one of my favorite poses is Kandasana. So it's when you have your legs out a little bit wider. Oh, so stiff. And then you just fold one leg and make sure your toes are standing up. Just like that. If your heel doesn't touch the floor, that's completely fine. But it just gives a really nice stretch right here. And it feels amazing. My tips for beginners is essentially what my dad says. If you try something once, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, at least you tried. Just do it. It's like the Shia LaBeouf thing. Just do it. And you can flip over to the other side. Like that. Going with a friend or knowing someone at the studio and just doing it around people is very motivating. One thing I deal with is hyper-competitiveness. I did ballet and I fought for almost a decade, and I compared myself to people ever since birth. That's just who I am as a human being. So I had to learn how to drop my ego and know that these people around me at a studio aren't there to watch me fail. If anything, they are there to motivate me, and we all came from the same place. I couldn't even touch my toes. I had no stamina. I was incredibly unfit, and you know, practice makes perfect and patience makes perfect. And here we are. So, tips for beginners, just do it. Just freaking do it. I know that's like not the piece of advice that everyone wants to hear, but that's honestly how I came to be. Now I just come into a forward fold. I'll try to insert some clips of me doing a chaturanga for the first time. I couldn't even do a push-up. Not even one. I think I like faked it the entire time. And now I can do a chaturanga almost effortlessly. So to show you how to do that, I start from forward fold, breathe into flat back, come back down to forward fold, and I walk my hands out to a downward facing dog. Something like that. If this is your first downward dog of the morning, make sure you pedal out your feet. Whatever feels nice, whatever feels copacetic. One thing I love about yoga is that you don't have to be really fancy with it. This mat is so beat up. I don't have any blocks. I don't have any bands or anything super fancy. And I still manage to do it every morning. It is, for me, such a good excuse to get away from my laptop or my phone screen and just have time to myself. So from downward facing dog, what I love to do is I just wave my spine forward to a plank position. Make sure your hips are in line with your shoulders. I lean a little forward. You can drop your knees if you want to. Slowly go down. Stop at 90 degrees. And then push your way up to cobra or upward facing dog. Then push back down to downward facing dog. Super simple, really lovely, and it just works all parts of your body. You can do it over and over again, or you can just drop your knees back down to child's pose and stretch out for a little bit. Another thing that I love to do, so when you're at your high plank, I like to float my toes, one of them, not all of them, bring it to my elbow. You can hold or you can take a little dip. Oh. Can you tell it's the morning and I just woke up? And then you can go to three-legged dog. Bring your foot forward. Then you take a twist. And I like to roll over to my feet edges. Just like that. Just really gets into your hip flexors and whatnot, and then you can do it on the other side. Oh, I'm out of breath. Why? The benefits of yoga have been crazy for me. I now have a semblance of a routine. I feel better about myself. And obviously what people notice the most is my body. Doing yoga 5 to 6 times a week has made so many changes for my body. I have abs now. Can you believe that? Never had abs in my life, even if I was fighting. It's crazy. So what I did, I just came back and I just did a, what's it called, half splits? Another one of my favorite poses is the wide-legged forward fold. So, go like this, start with the flat back, breathe in, and then you can fold forward into just your regular stretchy guy, or you can flip over into an inversion. People have asked me how long it took for me to do inversions, and I think all in all it's taken me 10 weeks. A constant practice, like bruising, throwing my body everywhere, falling left, right, and center. But working your core and practicing, and just, it's like riding a bike. Once you find that balance, you'll never forget that positioning, and it's so much fun. I think it's one of the coolest things I can do. So I just forward fold. Something like that. You can start yoga at any time. I'm 23 and I always thought that to be good at yoga or to be good at anything, you have to start in your teens, or you have to do it since, you know, conception, out of the womb, doing flips and balances, but that's not the case at all. My body itself is quite shot. My knees are really bad due to fighting. I have sciatica, and doing Deanna's classes has, this is not sponsored by the way, she's a homie. I really, really love her. Doing her classes, she gives so many options on what to do, which I love. Like, for some reason, one side of my body is not as flexible as the other. No idea why. But she gives so many different variations and options on what you can do depending on where you're at in your body. So like, I can do the splits on one side, but I can't do the splits on the other side. Let's see if I can do it. Can I flex for the camera? Can I do the splits? Ta-da. But on the other side, I can't. It's like a perfect 90-degree angle. I really hope you don't mind Latte's purring. I'm so sorry if it's a little bit irritating. It's quite soothing, in my opinion. Isn't it like a scientific fact that people feel more relaxed when they feel, or when they hear, sorry, cats purring? Another thing that I really love to do is a full wheel. You can either start just by doing bridge pose, just look something like that. So your feet are hip width apart and just lift up your hips. A nice little stretch. Or you can flip it into full wheel. And what I've been trying to do is to go from forearm wheel to dolphin pose. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. One thing you have to realize is, number one, yoga sometimes isn't very pretty. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can fully stunt for the camera. I just finished watching Cheer, and I need someone like Jerry in my life just to hype me up. I love that energy. Okay, all right. So full wheel to forearm wheel. See, sometimes it just doesn't work, and it's totally okay. All right, one more try. It's a lot of work, but once it sticks, it sticks. I don't know where this video went. I've just been doing some things, stretching out, and hopefully it motivates some of you to start doing yoga as well. If you have any other questions, please let me know, and I will answer them down below as much as I can. I just love yoga. It just makes me so happy. I never thought that I'd be here being able to do like inversions and flips and all that fun stuff. But, you know, I've acquired a couple cool party tricks, and I've learned to love my body again because of yoga. I can fully say that with my whole heart. I hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate all of you, and I'll talk to you soon.